late than never. What's up, guys? Back again another Wednesday. Late goat night. Sorry, guys. I was a little drugged out, a little strung out, a little tired and wired. So I took me some good old-fashioned drugs. Went to sleep. Almost stayed asleep. Guys, when they say take two, call me in the morning, I think they had this in mind. You don't take pills and wash them down with this. Let me tell you, one of the best rides of your life, but you might not come back off that ride. Let me tell you. Guys, shoot, what do you guys want to talk about? It's open mic night, like always. Talk about anything you guys want to talk about. Bring up whatever you want to bring up. Shoot. You know, a few things I do want to talk about personally. We don't really get into politics that much here at all. Maybe it's something we can talk about in a civilized way. I want to talk about the Olympics, the opening ceremonies. I want to talk about a few other things that involve the Olympics, like dudes able to box a chick in the Olympic sports of boxing. So yeah, and a few other things that have been going around and going on in this world. You know what I mean? And whatever you guys want to bring up in the hobby too. That's another thing we can do. We're gonna go to the comments pretty soon. In the meantime, I want to say what's up to James. What's going on, brother? Good evening, brother. Platinum, what's going on, brother? So there, tell you what, like and subscribe and make sure to share, okay? For you new people. Let me bring my boy out because I can't do it without my boy. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. Mr. Motherfucking Easy Thompson.
What is good?
What is good?
Late night Wednesday hump day.
Oh yeah, it's still hump day,
old
guys.
Man, we hit that nap button and time just goes by. It just, I'm telling you.
What's up, Adam? Guys, it's crazy. I really didn't sleep too good. The last 2 days I've been kind of burning the candle at both ends, and it finally caught up to me. I just took a power nap.
I've been having these really, really lucid dreams, man. These just wild, like so fucking vivid and real, but like my wife's like, yo, you're talking in your sleep, like you're having full conversations.
Holy crap.
Like you're moving around, you're making hand gestures in your sleep. Like I just can't get my brain to shut off.
It's crazy. It's crazy when I hate the ones where you're working, you go home to sleep to rest, and then you dream you're at work and you're working. And you get up to go do the same routine. Holy crap. James says he just took a 2-hour power nap. Oops. It happens. Naps happen. That's what we gotta get a shit for us older dudes. Naps happen. Yep. It's one of those things in life. I'm even staying away from my usual goat milk today. I'm just having me a nice clean little Arizona. Nothing in it. It's just, I'm already groggy from the meds. So guys, one thing I did want to talk about today is, has anybody heard about the situation with the Yellowstone Park?
That eruption?
Yeah, that eruption. They say fake news, Fox and everybody else is involved, I guess, that the eruption was much larger than what they claim it to be. And a lot of people freak out, but I think it's a good thing because it's kind of like when you got that big old bubble and you got the bubble guts and you release some of that.
You ever get like an ingrown hair or like an ingrown hair or a boil or anything like that?
It's ingrown hairs are fun.
You hit that release button and you're good.
Yeah. We need it. We need it. Like, I think it's a good thing. I mean, they've said ever since I can remember. Ooh. I mean, I've been hearing about this thing since I was a kid. about how the floor was going down deeper and deeper, and it's indicative of a super volcano getting ready to do its thing. So they've been saying it's not if, it's when, right? So little incidents like that are good. The release of pressure. You know what I mean? If that super volcano goes off,
oh, that's the end of the world right there.
that's crazy.
You're talking cold winter. Book of Eli shit right there.
That's crazy. That's the craziness. I was just watching the movie Twisters. Not a bad movie. Not a bad movie. I hate that they didn't link up in any cool way the old characters in that movie. It's just kind of a spin-off.
It's on my list to see. I seen Deadpool this weekend, which was fucking phenomenal.
Platinum, it'd be the end of the hobby as we know it. It's the only thing that would end the hobby. I'm telling you right now.
But you know, somebody would still manage to go live and feel sensitive about it. That's the beauty of it. That volcano would be racist.
Oh. Guys, so, I mean, but it's crazy, man, how that works. Texas, they just recorded and they filmed an F5. Now, if you guys remember this movie,
the finger of God.
The finger of God. We ain't gonna talk about what finger, but just imagine God's finger just stirring shit up. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, crazy. So how much of, so now I'm gonna get in a little rabbit hole. How much of it is a, you know, cloud seeding, right? They do the cloud seeding.
Yeah.
I watched a video where I think it was in China or Japan, they had hail the size of like beach balls.
Holy shit.
I mean, how much of that is us manipulating the weather and Mother Nature's like,
yeah, you know what? To me, it's kind of crazy that it gets to a certain point where man thinks he's above God, and now you can create or duplicate what God made. You know what I mean?
Like those floods that happened in Dubai?
Crazy. In Dubai. In Dubai. Jesus. And we have in the house Double Drop Kick Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Check out his channel. Informational content on belts and everything in the hobby. Kev, classy guy. Nice guy.
You get these F5 tornadoes. You get these, I mean, these strange, I mean, here, dude, California, we're rocking Arizona weather. This summer, man, 113, 112, 110, and consistently for like weeks.
Seems like we're breaking records of all kind in the weather. Leave Mother Nature alone.
Yeah, I'd let
you you will never be able to compete with Mother Nature. You just can't. You can't. Can't do it. If Mother Nature is like you fighting diarrhea from coming out your butthole, it's just not going to happen.
But it also should put a little perspective on things like, yo, these fucking tropical storms and these hurricanes and these really should show you how big you really are in the world. Like, so,
I mean, when you can see them from outer space, think about this. You can see these things moving from outer space.
It's just wild.
It is wild. It's wild. You know what else is wild? Men competing as women in boxing. In the Olympics.
2028 Olympics, look out, because I'm going to fuck some shit up.
I mean, come on, guys. How good do you have to be as a man competing as a woman in the Olympics as a boxer? It's lethal, man. It's lethal. What the hell?
We're in this weird like paradox right now of like a lot of it's like Gen Z.
What's up, TJ? What's going on?
Yo, bro, have fun, dude.
SummerSlam. We'll talk about that too. We'll talk about the Cleveland belt they got on there. Or was it?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd buy that belt. Don't know. Save your money for some side plates you see out there. Save your money for an actual nice belt. I saw some pictures of somebody showing a storefront, and they didn't know if it was either the Rock belt, that new Rock belt, or it looked like a Hogan belt to me, but it was all gold.
We could eventually finally get that 3D Jamar.
James, that's a belt right for you. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, dude, back to the whole boxing thing of women in boxing. I mean, men and women in boxing. How?
Well, just men and women is men's sport. The weird conundrum we're in right now is like there's people that like push for this.
They do push for this. But
like
those same people that push for this, if you would to tell them, hey, you see Big Joe over there, 365, 6'4"? He thinks he's a woman. If you think that's a female, go ahead and jump in the ring with little Joe over there for 5 minutes.
Place your bets, 2028 Olympics, bro. I'm coming.
Let me tell you.
My woman name is going to be Athena.
Can you imagine, like, if everybody else follow? I mean, what I don't get is how does everybody get together on this? Because it's not just the United States. I haven't seen this from another country. I know about the USA doing it on their team. Now I've been looking.
The not a dude.
Well, no, I'm saying like
no. On the bottom of the bikinis, a lot of these girls are putting right over there where their little hoo-ha is. There's a little sticker that says "not a dude."
I mean, I'll tell you who jumped in the ring with the dude. Because Mexicans got a lot of heart. And the chick that jumped into that ring with that dude was a Mexican girl. And she was getting bopped around left and right, man. Unfair.
So,
hard work. Ooh.
Let's see if we get it to focus.
God, I wish we could zoom in a little bit of that.
Come on.
Oh, right down the middle at the front.
Right there.
Oh. Not a dude. Oh. But see, this is the thing. It might be acceptable to do that on the team of the United States, but why is every country allowing it to happen? If I was a Mexican or Russian or whatever Brazilian team member, I would boycott that. I'd be like, no, I'm not jumping in. I don't care what this guy says he is. I'm not jumping in the ring with that.
But you got to think it's generational, and a lot of these are Gen Z kids. That
it may be Gen Z kids, but everybody above these kids competing, staff, they are all adults, anywhere from your age, my age, to even older people.
But are you going to be the huckleberry that says that and then gets the Twitter backlash and probably loses your job over not being politically correct? So a lot of these people are just, they have to hide in plain sight because they're too afraid to give their opinion because you can't. I don't know if people have noticed in the belt hobby, but you can't have a difference of opinion with somebody and not just get fucking live after event after event about it. That's just the way it works.
And see, the thing is, and that's the way it is, I think, across the whole board, whether it's the hobby, religion, who you're voting for, who you like poking in the bunghole. I don't know. It's just, I remember growing up, like, it was always around. You know what I mean? But I remember that even us growing up, even the gay dudes were gay dudes. Like Ricky would still hang out, have a few beers, and still go out and do his thing. But nobody ever knew, never. Not that it was bad to know, but I'm just saying, like, I think it evolved to being feminine now.
No, feminine, but not only feminine. It's involved to a indoctrination. If you don't verbally, openly, willingly embrace what I do behind closed doors, you're some sort of bigot, or you're some sort of, I'm one of those people, like, I don't care what people do. Have fun, knock yourself out. You want 2-3 wives, whatever you want to do, do you. Just have fun doing it. But at the same time,
story, Platinum. True story.
At the same time, I'll never force Mendoza to be like, look, I have 2 wives, and you're gonna like it. And if you don't like it, you're a bigot. Then just be like, hey, I got 2 wives. Hey, if you want to know something, ask. If not, I'm not gonna force it upon you. Then let's just move upon our day.
I remember that growing up, I mean, I know times change, but morals don't change. Those should never change. So people say that it's a different way of thinking. You have to be more open to thinking and things like that. But I've seen movies like what's it called, The Purge.
Oh yeah, love the movie, love it.
Purge.
Wish we had
crazy,
one.
Right?
Wish
crazy.
We had one.
But it's not that far from the truth. Like, can you imagine? Everybody gets so open-minded to the point where this country or any country in the world gets to the point where, for one day, it's going to be totally cool because you're all open-minded. You're all open to this. For everybody to go on a fucking killing rampage for one night. It's going to get to the point where everything is justified for doing something. Look, man, I just want to.
And this is a segue to the. To me, this is a segue to the Olympics, the opening ceremony.
That's another. I think they try to send to them a powerful message that it's there, it's on a world platform, and it's accepted now. And it's
you can't hide behind religion.
Yeah, and I took it as a kind of a message like, listen, we're gonna do it in protest to the people on teams protesting this. We're in your face. We're here. There's nothing you can do about it. We're gonna do it anyways. James, he comments, when we came up, it was cut and dry one way or the other. Now it's so many shades of gray. It seems like, yeah, you're not lying. You're not lying.
Especially with them, like, that's one thing I will never understand is the pronoun thing. Like,
oh, I hate that. I hate that. What's up, Kev? Nice to have you on here, man.
I was watching this podcast. They had that. I don't know if you know who Jeffree Star is.
No.
So Jeffree Star is a transgendered male to female. Does a makeup line. Just has an ungodly amount of money. But she is of the mindset. she hates. She's like, you don't have to like what I do. She's like, but I also hate the pronouns and the alphabet mafia and the way they handle things. She's like, I do what I do, and I'm gonna do what I do. She's like, the whole pronouns and stuff like that. That's people with too much time on their hands.
People with too much time in their hands, and we're not here to read minds and play the guessing game. And I call it like it is. If you look like a man, you look like a man. If you look like a woman, you look like a woman.
There's a fundamental line we got to draw though too, because I read an article where this teacher was getting in trouble because the kid was identifying as a cat. And the teacher refused to play along.
You know what? I would have been that teacher. I would have been like, I identify as a dog. I chase cats. And unless you turn into something else, I'm about to go rip a new one in your ass.
Look at Megan Fox. Megan Fox is one of the hottest chicks on the planet. But she has
Except for those thumbs. Except for those thumbs.
But she has 3 sons under the age of 10 that she's raising as transgendered. Yeah. They don't know their ass from the hole in the ground.
They're very confused at that stage.
Let them be kids. If you are gay, straight, whatever, have fun. You don't need to put it on Facebook and try to have it validated. Because I see a lot of that on Facebook too. Like they put it up there and they throw it in your face like for validation. And it's like, I don't put it up there and be like, hey, I'm straight. Yeah. So I just do you and keep flying, keep prospering.
I just wish that around the United States we would have like something to decide this, like a Royal Rumble.
Be badass.
Like a bunch of straights and a bunch of whatever you are's in a ring, like a 50-man Royal Rumble or 50. You couldn't call it 50-man Royal Rumble.
50 person.
50 people, a Royal Rumble, and the remaining sex decide. You know what I mean?
This is what I'm going to change when I become president of the United States. Right, announcing my presidency for the United States. So, vote for me. 2028. We will make America simple again. It's gonna be my slogan. We're making.
That's not a bad slogan, actually.
Yep.
Making America simple again. We all talk about the simple times, the good old days, but nobody wants to go back to those days.
The 80s. I'm sorry if you were an 80s kid. You lived without a doubt in the best time period in the history of the world, I'm going to say.
I think so, yeah. Everything boomed.
Up for grabs right now, gamer. I challenge you.
I'd make a hell of a VP. I'd make a hell of a VP.
You're going to be my border patrol.
Even better.
I got you. You're gonna be my immigration. You're my immigration president.
It's gonna be the best you've ever seen. The best.
No, I challenge you to find a better time than the 80s. From 1980 to probably, I'm gonna say 1995. I challenge you to find a better era to be a kid.
James says, I know you guys saw Hogan at Trump's rally. Love it, LOL. Classic 80s throwback. Hey, Hogan does what he does. He's good with the promos. The guy was excellent on the mic, excellent on the promos. Horrific when it comes to variety of moves in the ring. But he's Hogan. And I mixed feelings about that. Like, he's not a dummy. He's not a dummy. He brings out his beer. It's called Real American, right? Real American Lager. And Hogan's always had a business mindset. He's actually awesome at this. He's really good at prostituting himself big time. So he's not, I don't believe he's a Trump supporter. I really don't. But he's an opportunist. He's a very good opportunist. So you're about to open up a big beer company. You want a big push. What a better time to use someone or somebody as a platform to get you out there
than Midwest America buying beer.
Come on now. Come on. People were already trying to buy the beer just because it's a Hogan beer. It's, you know what I mean? And now think about the bandwagon where all these people jumped on. Like he literally posted a picture today doing this, and he had a warehouse just stacked to the ceilings with beer, ready to go. So he's smart.
What's really weird. So, Doza, I'm gonna pose this to you.
Right? We'll talk about that in just a bit because war is starting all over again, and we have China moving in, Russia moving in. I think the whole thing is with Israel, right? If I'm not mistaken. So we'll get into that right now too. That's actually something very important to talk about.
But I want to pose this to you because we tread lightly on the politics, and I'm gonna tread lightly on this.
We'll get to that in a minute, Adam.
I'm more of an anti-establishment person than I am a Trump guy. But I do believe that when the establishment hates somebody as bad as they do with Trump, I just rock with him. So with that preference in mind, are people just blind? Are we that dumb as a society when you got Hulk Hogan on one end, doing the campaign rally, and you got, was it Amber Rose and all these people doing the Trump thing, right? But up until Biden dropped out of the race, we all heard that Kamala was the worst vice president in the history of the world, and it just was a bad thing. Now that she's running for president, it's entirely changed overnight. The perception's changed overnight.
Yeah, and now the amount of money she brought in too. Holy crap!
But now you have her with Megan Thee Stallion, and these people, they're literally playing you, both sides, not one, both sides are playing you for a fool. They're trying to garner your vote by either dangling Hulk Hogan and Amber Rose and Kid Rock in front of you, or Megan Thee Stallion and some other rappers I'm sure that are going to come forward. And it's like, is that all it takes? Like, there's no sustenance. I literally listened to Kamala Harris talk about what she's going to do to curb the inflation. And it was 4 minutes of nonsensical rambling about, gas prices have gone higher, and it's harder for the people to their money. We're gonna cure this, but you're not gonna have to pay for it. They're pandering to you. Trump's pandering to you. People need to realize, if you really want to change, go find out who your congressmen are. Go find out who your senators are. Go find out what they're about. Go local.
It's gonna be a winged eagle with a comb over at the top of the little wig at the top of the damn plate.
I like it.
Yeah, buddy.
Like, let's not argue about who's gonna be our daddy for the next 4 years or mommy. And if you really want to fix something, fix it local.
Yeah, you got to talk to your local congressman and actually write letters and get in there and get your foot in there and try to change things locally and let that work its way up.
Yep. It's the trickle up effect, not the trickle down effect.
Yeah. And like through the fire, I mean, I don't know. I've never heard of a good vice president my whole life. I don't know what those guys do after they're like VPs.
I can only judge from what I'm accustomed to or what I know. So with Kamala living in California, we lived through a lot of her. She was our attorney general. We lived through a lot of her bad policies and or bad of pushing the policies. So that's where that's local.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. Just like if the infighting just stops. And you really took a look at things for what they are, I think people would come together more and be able to change some shit. But the infighting is what has to stop.
Yeah. But the government, and I do say this, the government does a good job, has done the most excellent job of dividing the people.
And that flame, baby.
Because you guys cannot decide whether we can start an argument right now. Cornflakes, soggy or crunchy? And that sets off everything. No, man, I like to get into my cereal crunchy as soon as I pour the milk. Oh, I hate crunchy cereal. I like to get it a little soft. You know what I mean? It's just everything on this this world is a goddamn argument.
What do you pour first? Do you pour the milk or do you pour the cereal?
Exactly. What's better, Captain Crunch berries or plain Captain Crunch?
Or Utsal berries. So again, that's the infighting, and that's what they're going to do. So you'll see through this election cycle that Kamala's going to bear with all the rers and all the hip hop people.
Don't you do it, Platinum.
Garnering your vote. There. Trump's going to be up there being Trump, trying to garner the vote. Meanwhile, nothing's going to change. Gas isn't going to go back down.
No.
Food isn't going to go back down.
No.
There's a thing I was reading about. It's because we're in such an inflation right now. There's not going to be a de-inflation. We need a de-inflation. There's going to be a deflection where these stable. I'll be like, yo, I was happy yesterday. I found gas that was under $4 a gallon, $3.97. I was like, oh, thank God.
The only thing that takes down, honestly, I don't care what expert you think you are in life or all the numbers you want to punch up day and night. The only thing that brings down inflation is self-sufficiency. When you don't rely on certain things. You know what I mean? Supply and demand is what makes things go up or down. And we talked about this before, but imagine just walking everywhere you need to walk to do your errands. And you only touched your car to go from A to B. And this is, let's say, cohesively, everybody doing this. Everybody. To only drive your car when it's a long distance or go to work and back. Or change your means of transportation. Instead of taking your motorcycle, take an e-bike. Or, you know what I mean? Those kind of changes. Those changes are the things that are going to make the inflation go down, because now you're not dependent on the things that are very costly in your life on a daily basis. The United States there's a lot of farmland here in the United States, but we import a lot of things. We don't do it all here, guys. It's not all made in the USA. Just about everything you touch in your home is made in China or Taiwan. So think about that. The times where you used to live in your home when when your parents were 15 to 20 years of age, just about everything was made here in the good old USA. So think about this. Inflation didn't start 4 years ago. It didn't start with Biden. It didn't start with Bush. It didn't start with Clinton. We're talking this. Inflation started in the 60s, late 70s, going into the early 70s, when things started being imported. So we became dependent. It used to be cheap to import. Now it isn't anymore. We've gone to the point where we can't go back sometimes.
Nope. And that's the sad, tragic end of it all is we can sit here and tell you that Kamala doesn't care about you no more than Trump does, but you're still gonna get on Facebook and you're still gonna fight about who's the best daddy, which is wild.
And see,
they don't care. They don't care.
And I must be a bigot because I'm a weird world. I like to put the cereal in first, pour the milk. I wait about a minute, then I go in. But I only do it because I don't have as much molars as I used to. So, you know.
So I got to give it the stir and like make sure there's milk on everything. You know. Go, Crunch Talk. Yep. I mean, look at the national debt right now. Well, what are we at? Let's look at the debt calculator. Let's see.
Listen, at this point, Kev, it's getting to the point where it's probably better if we move to Pakistan. The hobby's not here in the United States anymore. It's in Pakistan, to be honest. It's in Pakistan.
So the U.S. national debt right now, on the debt clock that's currently running, $35 trillion, which accounts for $103,844 per citizen. Debt per taxpayer is $267,404. That's wow. Just fucking wild.
Wild. And to think that everybody still pitches in for Social Security, right? Yet, there is going to be no more Social Security. So where did all those funds go? We still get it taken out of our checks. So, where's my money? Where's our money? You know what I'm saying?
But, and again, that goes back to what I was talking about. What up, Ben?
Mr. Ben Walker.
I'm watching you, Ben.
And put respect on that name. What's up, Ben?
That goes back to we talk about the tree of liberty and it need to be refreshed and how far past we are past the tyrannical government. Because let me tell the government that I'm not going to pay them my Social Security anymore because it's not going to be there when I need it. And see what happens. Try it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're going to jail.
Yeah, they'll come a knocking on your door harder than the Bible salesman on Sunday.
Think about that. They're going to put you in jail for trying to keep your money you earn off of your back. Your blood, your sweat, your tears. And they'll put you in jail for it.
Exactly. Yeah, oh yeah. Ain't that crazy? I was watching a video earlier of a guy that got pulled over. And the cop was asking him for proof of insurance. And I've seen a lot of these videos. They can either go one way or the other. But a lot of these guys are actually winning because they are getting pulled over by cops. And they're not a sovereign citizen. They call themselves, what do they call it? American nationalists?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so they convert, they put their paperwork in. They convert everything. And when the cops ask him for proof of insurance, registration, and He's like, I don't do commerce with your state or your city or all that, so I don't have to pay registration. So, and this is, I'm like, I'm with that, but what I'm not with is not paying insurance.
Yeah.
Because insurance, whether you're for paying registration, whether you're for a license or not, insurance is definitely a must. Because you can crash somebody's car, man, and put them out of so much. Aside from their health, you know what I mean? Nobody's property deserves to get jacked up just because you had a couple cold ones one night. You know what I mean? Insurance is a must.
And that's the other wild thing with what we live, the way we live. So in California, we have a thing called, I don't know if you guys have in your state, where every other year we have to get our car smogged. So what happens is I used to love modifying cars, and you know, we go out and street racing and stuff like that when I was a youngster and do that kind of stuff. But you throw on intakes, exhaust, whatever you want on your car. And obviously, if you get in California now, if you get pulled over, the first thing, if they suspect you to do anything to your car, they're going to tell you to pop your hood. You pop your hood, they look for anything illegal, which if you change anything on your engine, it's illegal. Unless you get a carb sticker, it's a pain in the ass. But they'll tell you pop your hood. They'll write you a ticket. Then you have to take it to what they call a state referee. And that state referee will tell you what's wrong with your car, what you have to fix, how much it's going to cost. It's this weird racket. I pay $200 a year for registration for my car. Why are you telling me what I can't do to my car?
It's your property.
But again, we don't live in a tyrannical government.
I bet.
But, just keep that in mind.
I mean, what about the surprise smog checks? You ever just driving and they
on the side of the freeway,
and they'll tell you to stop,
pull over,
put your car on the rack, and you drive up there, and they do a quick smog check on your ass just to check your emissions.
And if you fail, you get a $500 ticket.
That's
you got to
crazy.
foot the bill to get it fixed, and then take it back to the smog place to get it redone.
That's crazy.
But we don't live in a tyrannical government.
We don't. And it's crazy because when you say stuff like what I'm about to say, a lot of people will say, well, go back to your country and shit like that. But honestly, America is not as free as it used to be with the people, between the government and the people. No matter who you are, where you come from, or where you think you were born, if you came here on the Mayflower like many moons ago and all that shit, like honestly, it's not as free as it used to be. You go to Mexico, and honestly, you feel a certain freedom there. It's very different. Like, it's very, very different, man, honestly.
I'm one of those people, again, this is where I lean to in politics. I'm one of those people I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm a taxpayer. I have no record. I have no felonies on my record. I'm a gun owner. Would own a firearm if they're legally allowed to. I think that I go through the background checks. I pay the money. I do the right thing. There should be no part of the government that tells me, hey, you can't own that. You can't own that. No. I'm doing the right thing. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But that's a deal.
Guess what I just did?
Huh?
I just got a new job. I was without a job for like almost 2.5, 3 months.
What are you doing?
Guess what I just got into? I'm working at a school with kids. Can you imagine this guy right here?
Wow, congratulations.
I'm doing something I said I'd never do my whole life. Get involved with like the school system. Fucking hated school growing up. Who didn't, right? But I hated it for different reasons, guys. I mean, when you grow up in the hood, you're more worried about surviving on the way to school and back home versus worried about what books you forgot. And then your teachers are complete dicks, and all they want to do is get in a fist fight with you on a daily basis. Like, you don't learn to love school. You don't really get to focus.
You don't get the experience that other people get.
It's crazy. But I'll be working with kids. I'm gonna be that guy too. Just walking by and class to class.
I think if that's your right and you have the means to own a tank, I think you're fully within your rights to own a tank.
Why not? As long as you're doing it responsibly.
It's weird. So I had a situation on Saturday. Went down to Inglewood. I haven't even told you about this yet.
Oh, that's right. You did go.
So
did you try the pizza?
No, I didn't have a chance. So we went down to Inglewood. We get there, 4 in the afternoon. We get some food. We hang out. We get to the venue, the Kia Arena, and so we're waiting. My kids go in. They go to the concert. I'm just kind of chilling in the minivan, watching YouTube, having a jolly old time. We get out of the concert. Concert gets out at about 11:30. Finally make it out of the parking lot, get through the street, everything. All right, we're going to Randy's Donuts. Go get Randy's Donuts, man. I got me they just came out of the oven, hot ham and cheese, croissant.
Oh, yeah,
some donuts, got a cronut, and we're like, cool. I was like, yo, let's just fill up on gas.
Like, I nut for cronuts.
Right? So I'm like, yo, government's listening to Dozy. Does anybody see his camera doing it? Oh, there it goes. That was weird. Like the Matrix for a minute.
So a little while ago when we were downing the government here, my camera was doing all kind of weird things on the screen. Something about the UI is not functioning anymore and da-da-da. I just ignored it and kept closing it. It popped up like 30 damn times.
So we go to get gas. Mind you, it's about 1 a.m. now because Randy's was packed out the gate.
I believe it. Especially when they have events around there. Forget about it.
I'm getting gas. There's a Shell across the street. I'm getting gas, and I see this person. I'm facing the car, and I see this person's reflection in the car. And I'm paying attention to it, but I'm not paying too close attention to it because mind you, I've been there for like 24 hours. I'm a little tired. And so I'm getting ready to pull the pump out of the car, and my kid's like, Dad. Well, when I drive, I wear a hoodie and I keep a gun in my hoodie pocket. I'm licensed to carry. So that's just, but I keep a gun in my hoodie pocket. That's just quick access. So she's like, Dad. So I turn around and this dude's behind me, maybe about 4 feet, 5 feet, but he's making stabbing gestures at me.
Oh.
So I look in his hand and there's nothing in his hand. And he continues to just start making these gestures at me, kind of like pacing forward. And I'm just looking like, fuck, I'm gonna have to shoot this dude if he fucking pulls something out. So he's making these gestures, and I look at him, I'm like, bro, I'm not the one. Move along. He was tweaked out of his mind, and he was just
yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. So I'm already hooked up, ready to just shoot through my sweater.
And I was gonna say, people always think about that you have to pull. No,
I'm shooting through my sweater.
If my hand's on my gun and it's in my pocket, I'm shooting from the pocket.
Yep.
It's just a quicker draw.
But here's the stupid part is I live in California, which I bought what they call CCW insurance. So basically what it does is if I do end up having to shoot somebody, they'll cover my bond, because most in California, most bonds are about $500,000 to $1 million. I don't have 10%. I don't have 10% of that supposed bond.
It's crazy.
So this insurance covers bond, it covers lawyers, it covers therapy, it covers loss of weight, it covers it all.
Yeah.
And it's like $600-$700 a year.
That's not bad.
So I'm watching the guy, and he's just making the gestures, and then I have a dude next to me pumping gas too, and he knows what I got in my pocket, and I'm telling dude, I'm like, I'm not the one, dude. Just go on, move on. And then he finally kind of started circling us, and then the other guy was like, yeah, dude, it is. But the other guy was like, yo, just get the fuck out of here, bro. And then he finally kind of moved on enough to where I was able to get out of there, and I'm just like, but you have to, like, I got 3 girls in a minivan that I have to protect.
Yeah.
But then I'm worried about, like, yo, if I don't do the exact right thing 100% of the time on this situation, I'm gonna go to fucking jail for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And I know the feeling. I used to do bread deliveries. James, I used to do deliveries also. I lived in LA almost my whole life till I moved here. But I'm telling you right now, I had to do deliveries to all the businesses that needed bread on Skid Row. And I delivered late night. My shift would start at I'd get up at 11 o'clock at night, go into work at 12, and I would do a shift all the way up to 4 in the afternoon. So like, the whole drive between like 1 a.m. and 4 and 5 a.m. was all downtown LA, Skid Row.
If you don't know what he's talking about, if you don't know what he's talking about, just go on YouTube and type in Skid Row, Los Angeles.
Yeah, look up Skid Row, guys. Skid Row, Los Angeles. And Skid Row was invented, when was it, 70s?
60s, late 60s, early 70s.
Late 60s, 70s, something like that, when they actually... it's you guys got to watch the whole thing about Skid Row, how businesses and the city got together to move a certain special section for all these people to be. So Skid Row wasn't created by people and people being homeless. It was purposely made by the local government for that purpose, which is crazy.
You know, and I want to preface, because I know people will watch this, and some people that don't like me or appreciate me or whatever, we'll skew this. No, I'm not tough because I carry a gun. No, I don't think I'm anything because I carry a gun. I do it because I have an obligation to my wife and my daughters to protect them with the best ability I can. And that's my way of doing it. My wife, my kids can shoot every firearm that's in this house, whether it's a Glock 19 or an AR-15 or a hunting rifle. You can shoot every weapon that's in this house. And then that's the thing is, like, if you teach your kids not to be scared of things, they're not going to be inquisitive, and they're not going to be scared of things. You know, so I really want to do like a breakdown of, like, I have home defense style weapons, and then I have like oh shit type weapons, and then I have like America type weapons because it's just fucking American. I can, you know, body armor, and you know, it's one of those things. Is like I'm one of those, and again, I'm one of those people. Like, I feel like I wish schools had armed teachers and armed security, because when I pass my children off, I want them to be as in tight of security as humanly possible.
Nothing wrong with that.
If I can't give it to them, then I want the next best thing.
I mean, the way this country's going nowadays, though, Ethan, I would carry a gun without a permit now and say, my gun does not identify as that. My gun identifies as a knife. In
California, bro, in California, you have no idea how hard it was. It took me 14 months and cost me about $1,000 to go through the process. I mean, that's fingerprints, it's interviews, that's me writing letters. It was just a process.
And it's all to just discourage people. And that's a problem, because I'm one of those people that I do say that when you make the process that hard, first of all, if somebody really wants something, they're still gonna go get it, okay? And they do the process that far and that long and that hard to discourage people from owning firearms. But you're really not, you're discouraging them from the process, but not from them attaining what they really want.
And it goes to so much further than that too, is because like my dad was a felon. And
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at Kev's comments.
no, that's true.
Oh God.
This is another debate I had with some people at work, right? So I'm one of those people that like Doza right now, Doza commits a felony. Let's just say he's a drug trafficker. He traffics some drugs, he goes to jail, he does his time, serves his sentence. Why do we make that sentence follow him the rest of his life when he served his sentence? He served the time that was said by the court to serve for your crime. Why is that following you the rest of your life? Why are you not allowed to vote? You're not allowed to own a gun. You're not allowed anything because you're a felon. You made a mistake once in your life that's going to follow you the rest of your life. I don't think that's fair. I think when you serve a crime, when you commit a crime and you serve the time, it should be absolved off your record. It doesn't have to disappear, because if you're a repeat offender or whatever, you know, but it doesn't have to follow you and burden you from getting a good job. From
right there. That, and see, that's like
yourself.
And see, that's another thing. Like, when I applied for this job, luckily they didn't ask the questions, but I had to submit a background check, right? Which is like $40-$50, something like that. But other jobs that I had applied to before, I always had to check that box. Have you ever been to jail? And you can't avoid that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The only thing that I would say, like, should follow you responsibly.
It's Tetris.
You know what I mean? If you're a murderer, if you are a sex offender with kids and stuff like that,
yeah,
definitely.
Kid Tetris is 100%.
That should definitely have a tag on your ass till the end of the days. That's
the scarlet letter.
Yeah.
But I don't know much. If you committed some credit card fraud and you had to serve 4 years, it is what it is. You serve your time. But again, that goes back to like we're talking about that, how broken every system is fundamentally in America. The correctional system is so convoluted. It's just housing people. It's not what it was meant to be, as far as it was meant for a rehabilitation. We should be training these people. We're spending the tax money to house them, to feed them, to clothe them. We should be spending a little bit of extra tax money to teach them how to be an electrician, how to weld, how to be a plumber, a trade, truck driver.
Maybe James knows this. James, you're in the comments. I'll ask you a question because I had a damn good idea, and it is. And I didn't make I watch a lot of documents and stuff like that on YouTube. I really don't watch TV, but I was watching this document about a small town in Ohio, and it's basically deserted with a bunch of huge buildings, a lot of historic landmarks there that nobody wants to tear down, but nobody's fixing up either. And I remember it was like a ghost town. The city was still functioning, but it was literally like a ghost town.
I watched one like that, but I think it was the one I watched was about Gary, Indiana.
Oh, Gary, Indiana is another town like that. And the steel industry, the steel mills and all that closed down and just...
And the General Motors and shit, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. But in this town in Ohio, they had a huge building that was just really nice. But it was empty, top to bottom. And I remember watching and I go, damn, that building's gone to waste, dude. Like, I understand people are trying to keep things like historically there. And I remember my wife said they should put all the homeless people there. Like, just saying they should let homeless. She didn't say it like that. She said they should let homeless people live there. And I turned around and looked at it and I go, you know what? I didn't even think about that. That is the, you know how many towns in America there are like this? Why not spend the tax money? They're sending them to Hawaii and different places anyways. They get a free ticket to fly out there. Why not send them to a town like this in Ohio? Let them occupy. And while they occupy, open up a center to teach them a trade. And work off that trade by rebuilding that city.
I think it's,
you know what I mean?
On paper, but what we do miss a lot of is the mental illness aspect and the drug addiction. So I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of what they do there's a couple of areas that do it in California. They just take, an empty plot of land and they build these two people. They have them to the point now where they're almost like a Rector set. They just like open up and it's got an air conditioner. It's got a wall outlet. It's got a bed.
Yeah, I have seen that. Okay.
And they have showers on site. They have bathrooms on site. And, it gets them out of the street. And you can they're drug-free zones. So if you get caught with drugs, it's an issue. And I think if we just did that in towns, every town has a parking lot that they can spare where they can fit 50 or 100 of these little pop-up trailers to house homeless, where you can control it. You can control what they're doing. You can give them clean food, water, baths.
Motherfucker. Spider trying to crawl on my collectibles. Shame on you.
You can give them that and you can kind of control it. Then you can start to help the mental aspects. Yeah. Because I think mental health is something that we're still we're unfamiliar with. We're ill-equipped to handle.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is a good topic, and we're going to take it into our next podcast, guys. We're a little over the hour anyways, but we're going to take this into the next one. We'll get some clips ready and actually do a nice podcast show for you guys. Ghost Towns of America is what we'll call it. What we can do with them. We'll search up the names of the city. I completely forgot the name of the city. It's got a weird name, but I'll invite you. We'll name these places for you guys and get some pictures up. And then we invite you, before we hit this episode coming up on next Wednesday, go to YouTube. Look up these towns, Ghost Towns of America, and just check them out. And just think of the possibilities, the things that can be done with our tax dollars to really rebuild America from the inside out and have it work again.
Again, just look at Detroit. Go watch a couple of documentaries about Detroit.
Yeah,
it's another one of those. And then I'll post some videos of those the homeless the little pop-up trailers that they make. It's a great way to try to do something.
Kev, I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you're doing that, you need to stop. Stop it. I'm gonna tell you why.
I used to do that too, though.
Because the hobby needs you guys. We can't have you guys falling through old roofs or bad floors and you're doing good in your leather, and you're advancing, brother. The hobby needs you. So take care of them hands, take care of them legs. You need them. It is cool though. I've done it myself too.
Hey, the average median house price for California right now is, I think, is like $550,000. I can't afford it. I'll be in an apartment the rest of my life.
I'm looking for a home now. I mean, I'll probably speak to the owner of where I'm at now and make him an offer. I hate moving. I really, when I moved here to Indiana and I first moved into the richer side, nicer side of the place, and then I had to move again to here, 3-story house is not easy. It's not easy getting stuff. This is just my drum room, man cave, kick it room. On the other side, there's a room just as big or a little bigger than this room, which is my work station for my leather. Then upstairs and all that, and then upstairs. Moving all this shit out of here and going in another home again, no, plus what's in the garage in the back. No, thank you. I'd rather just see if I can get something settled here. I'm already comfortable. Crazy. But housing. If you took a town like that and repurposed and make housing and brought better business to that, man, it would grow. Yeah. Oh, wow. 15 years. Okay, yeah. Yeah, brother. You're doing great, honestly.
It's a productive night. We got content for the next show. Look forward to it.
Emma Saad, can you imagine Emma Saad Ali being over here, Great Custom Belts? How badass would that be? Just go in one of those abandoned buildings and just let them have at it. But you know, these guys, imagine if they were locally and you put in an order. You know, there's people get so anxious about their belts. Can you imagine if people knew they were local? They'd be knocking at their door every week. Yo, Assad, what's up, man?
Oh, 100%.
Like, crazy. That would be crazy, man. So, guys, we're over the hour. Thank you guys for putting up with us and joining us,
especially on the late night.
Especially late night. That's very, very appreciated, guys. Sorry we're on here late. Better late than never, though. You know what I'm saying? And what he says, if he was local, I donated his workers some shoes for real. I can never see all them working with metal. And dude, I was literally on my press machine because I have a good sized press machine. And some of the plates that I have on there to press, they weigh like 25 pounds. And I was, for some dumbass reason, wearing sandals yesterday. But I was so tired too that I don't know what I did. I moved something and the plate shifted and it woke me up like this. And I didn't care about anything else. I just made sure to just bounce my legs back. I hadn't moved that quick in ages, guys. Almost tore a ligament. It tore a quad there. I moved so quick and that weight said boom on the ground. I was like, wow. That would have been a broken toe or foot like that. Hey, don't think they wouldn't. They'd look like an undisputed champ, like 3-4 belts on each arm, walking around like the line and TJ coming back from TJ to the USA, just selling all their stuff. No shit. Ben, thank you for hanging in there, brother.
Stay tuned for Ben to call me names and I have to find out on a group that I'm blocked from. Love you, Ben.
Grandpa Ben, much respect to you, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Very close call. My toes would have been not good. You guys have a good night, man. Thank you for joining us for as long as you guys were here. We will see you guys next Wednesday. Ghost towns of America, what do we do with them? Any good ideas would be appreciated. And that's something actually I'd probably write a letter and submit to my local government. I'll tell you that right now.
Right?
Yeah, for sure, guys. Guys, again, thank you so much. Appreciate you. We are out of here.